You weren't sure we were going to meet.
Fucking hell, what a day, eh?
I know.
You know, it's bad when like people in Syria and
Oh my God, what's going on?
and Burkina Faso are like texting their friends in the States asking if they're okay. Go on, kitty, go, 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 go. Out, out, out.
I know.
It's
Well,
mad. Yeah,
yep.
it's mad. I mean, even right now, it looks like 6 policemen, and no offense, who look like they've eaten a tray of donuts like this morning, are like the only guys guarding the building. I mean,
Are you speaking about Americans?
it's
It
like,
must be American police you're talking about.
wouldn't you want your very best out there, like protecting protecting everything right now? And all I'm seeing on the BBC News are like a bunch of guys who, yeah. Anyway, shouldn't be mean.
Donut eating people?
Really overweight people. Whoa.
But I mean, they're probably just
that's
as good as
population.
you know. But it is, as I said to Laurel, they're not the kind of guys that we saw during all the BLM rallies.
Oh, you're right, with the SWAT gear and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. They weren't I mean, I saw those guys myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lines of
yes.
50 or 100 guys with riot shields and rubber bullets, and like, where are those guys?
Yeah, where are those?
I mean, I know that DC's been preparing, but they didn't call in, National Guard and all of that soon enough. And I don't know where that decision comes from even, but.
Well, Dawn just said they put a 6 p.m. curfew in place, so maybe that's when it rolls out.
They should have put a 6 p.m. curfew in last night. There was like street fighting going on last night. In DC. I mean, people haven't been able, I'm a little hysterical about it, but people haven't been able to leave people of color can't leave their homes in DC right now because they're scared.
Wow.
Like, I know a couple of people who didn't go to work today, who work service jobs where they're going into work that canceled. Lyft drivers have all stopped driving today in the district because I mean, there were street fights last night and they didn't put a curfew in until today. It's nuts. I mean, you guys in Portland, you've lived this as well. So
it's, well, it's one thing in Portland, you avoid a small center of area, but I mean,
DC downtown is also pretty small, like from the Lincoln Memorial to the Capitol building is probably like 1.5 miles. And then it's a walkable, relatively small city.
Well, I will say this for Portland, a crowd this size of rioters would have been tear gassed and clubbed by now.
Right.
So
Where's the tear gas?
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Why these idiots are still standing on the Capitol steps, I have no idea. Like, they should be bleeding by now and being hauled
Why
off.
weren't they last night? Because again, they were,
Right.
I mean, there was all these stuff on Twitter last night about street fights.
Uh-huh.
They're probably all carrying concealed weapons and they're just trying not to escalate. I don't know, but you're right.
Kind of what I was
Why
thinking.
isn't there tear gas?
Oh, I'm sorry. And now we have a
I'm-
bunch of people carrying concealed weapons into the U.S. Capitol, and they're just walking in.
Not
with their
only that,
backpacks.
but I mean, DC is that's against the law in all of DC, not just the
Yeah.
Capitol.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like these people need to be arrested like yesterday.
We're not in Virginia.
So I was just kidding. So
Yeah.
I've not watched anything. So they're actually walking around with weapons visible, or
They're not walking around with weapons visible, but they're sitting in the
I
Capitol.
haven't seen any weapons visible. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
but
they're
I
sitting
am
in the
certain-
Capitol building on the Senate floor.
Yeah.
They've penetrated into the Senate and are sitting.
Oh, they're actually
inside.
inside.
They're inside.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Senate
they're
has been
inside.
evacuated. You've not watched any of this, Dawn and Chris?
I think that's
Very little. I
why
just
they're
jumped
taking
in.
so long to assemble.
she keeps breaking up.
Yeah.
I guess after seeing what happened in Michigan State Capitol, I'm not totally surprised.
Yeah.
Same thing in Idaho. I mean, those guys walked in with AK-47s.
Yeah,
I mean,
same
the
with Salem.
surprise is that the vice president of the United States was in the building when that happened. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's the surprise, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Where's the
that it
Secret
happens
Service
in
at? You're
Michigan
right.
is
Right.
less surprising, but
the Secret Service should have been at least. Yeah, because
Or
one of those
just, I
guys-
was just thinking about the fencing that went up, like the fencing that went up around the White House within 24 hours is like the fencing between like the West Bank and Israel. It's like that kind of double fencing was around the White House.
Yeah.
That went up in 24 hours. Why couldn't they have done that around the Capitol?
It's a good
They've
question.
known for days these folks are coming.
Drive safely.
Hmm.
Right.
Trump told them to stand by and stand down and stand by, right?
Yeah.
And then he
I
told them
mean,
to go to the Capitol and
Right.
register their protest.
and that's what they did. That's what
Exactly
they did.
But now he's, a few minutes ago, he told them to go home, which is like.
But he loves them and they're special.
Everybody loves them. Oh boy, are
Yeah.
they special.
Yeah, on like Twitter put up basically blocked the retweeting of that tweet and said this is lies. It's blah blah blah. And yet,
Oh, because he said they stole the election.
Mhm.
Well, it's inciting. It's inciting, isn't it? So.
well, Biden called it insurrection. And it's like, hey.
Leaves you
Yeah.
speechless. But how about Georgia, everyone?
How about
Yeah.
Georgia? Yes. How about that?
It's like you can't
Gosh
even go out and
damn it.
celebrate anything because it's like what?
Right.
But
But they didn't win. They really didn't win. There's votes missing. There's votes missing. Come on, at least 10,000.
yeah, at least 11,697.
And when we get done with this, I'm calling the Secretary of State of Georgia.
Oh,
It's crazy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting by the end of the month to see how everything falls.
Maybe.
Right.
You wake up from
yeah.
this nightmare.
Well, I'd like to see Mike Pence remove Donald Trump from office. I'm worried about what the next 2 weeks are going to look like. It's prime for some type of white supremacist terrorist attack.
Yep.
Yeah, this is just a warm up.
That's
Oh.
horrible.
Yeah.
If anything, he's making Biden's first 100 days very difficult because there's going to be a lot of things that they're going to have to undo that he's doing right now, which is kind of typical, but not quite to this level. But yeah,
Hmm.
We
But you're
usually-
right,
Searching up those
Rosaline, like,
cameras and
I'm
arrest
getting-
all those people.
I'm getting texts from
Smoke.
all over
Got some
the world,
tear
are you
gas.
there? What's going on? Are you safe?
It's
It's like our friends
Uh-huh.
in Indonesia and stuff that usually are the other way around, right?
All
uh-huh.
those,
Yes,
all those
those were the
friends-
texts that we got over the summer
all those
from people that
friends
aren't in
shithole
Portland.
countries, all those friends in shithole countries are now texting.
Yeah, my
me.
friend from East Timor just contacted me. Like, are you okay? It's like you're in freaking
Wow.
East Timor. Which,
Well,
as far as I know, is pretty stable and safe now. But
but it's one of those context things, just like in Portland, they don't really know how close you are to the trouble,
yeah,
right? People are like, I'm like, we're
Oh.
5 miles from downtown. It would have to be really bad.
well, I
But,
think for
you know,
me,
you're-
because people have seen me out on the streets on
Correct.
every other single thing. But
In your face.
That's true.
Are you down there with your drums?
I actually went to Astrid's because I thought you were going to be on the road today, and I'm like, please drive slowly.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you didn't leave
So
yet.
is there other protesters from the other side then, or no? they're
no,
just
it's been about since Sunday. Even the Antifa in DC have been saying it's not like stay home. Black Lives Matter put out a press release 2 days ago saying it's not safe for people of color to be on the street at all. Like stay at home, no counter protests this time, guys. Everybody. So it's been just constantly stay home. And then, what are alternative things that you
Yeah.
can be doing that are kind of just that any citizen should be doing right now. So
Did they identify the person that was shot today?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, I mean, the things that folks are saying, like study up.
I
on-
hope somewhere they,
Oh, go ahead, Dana.
I was just going to say, I hope that there are cameras that will be available to see who was the person who shot that woman. That person needs to be caught.
The early report that it was that it was law enforcement.
I mean,
that she
I
was
hadn't
shot
heard
by
that
law
yet.
enforcement, that she was a protester
I wonder
shot by.
what she did. I mean, geez.
I
know.
didn't even, that hasn't even been reported here. What
Yeah.
happened?
So a woman was shot entering the Capitol building, and I believe it was a protester, and the early report was that she was shot by law enforcement. But
As she was entering.
as she was entering the building, yeah. And it sounded, I mean, they didn't say
Still
by
just
rubber,
watching them
they weren't
assemble.
saying by rubber bullets, which is what they were shooting everybody with in June.
Mm,
There were a lot of people shot in June, but with rubber bullets.
There's a video of them breaking in and breaking the glass and then going in. I saw that, but I didn't see the.
Mhm. It's astounding. It's just
It's
astounding.
truly astounding.
I mean, you just
All of it.
can't, yeah, you
All
just
of
can't,
it.
it just like leaves you
You're
speechless.
right.
Yeah,
Just like,
I mean,
like
everything
Astrid.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Astrid. I think I'm going to say the same thing you are.
Well, I mean, pick an image, right? Like the guy, like the white, nationalist bro sitting on the chair of the Senate president,
Yeah.
sitting on the dice, and you're going, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?"
Like, how could that have ever have happened?
Where
yeah.
are they? Right.
Oh,
How
I
could that
guess
have ever have happened?
I guess that, yeah, we clearly have been late to the party because they went right in. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have enough security personnel. I mean, how it happens is they were not prepared. That's how it happens.
But it
because
seems
they
like they're,
didn't-
yeah.
Which is
they
so
didn't
surprising.
believe they underestimated the threat.
But I mean, we've been there, like, Laurel, we were there like 3 years ago, and like we tried to get into that Capitol building was pretty high security just for like regular old tourists. I'm trying to think what was going on today that they got
Yeah.
in.
Well, they were, I mean, I'm sure there'll be books written about it or whatever, but people were scaling walls and, had climbing equipment and things like that. So it was, I mean, these people have been planning this kind of stuff for
so there's,
years,
how
if
many,
not decades, right? I mean,
we're talking like 1,000 people, 1,000. I mean,
Easily.
easily,
There's hundreds of
more.
people around the Capitol, and I guess they just
On the
pushed in.
news, they're still there. They're still there, but they're
Yeah.
just
Yeah, and an IED was found on the Capitol
Yeah.
lawn. So, they weren't
Jeez.
messing around. These are not people who just like showed up out of nowhere, right? They've been planning this kind of stuff. I'm confident for years.
yeah,
Well,
and
the
that's,
video I saw of them smashing in the window, they hit it 2 or 3 times. It completely burst. And then you see like one of those docent things with the little sign, please don't step on the carpet or whatever, with the little ribbon in front of the door. And then all of a sudden it's this
Right.
line of people and
Filing
somebody
in.
saying, this way, please, this way, please. It's like, wait, is this a Senate tour? I mean, it was so.
I'll be curious how the other half of the country's feeling about this. I mean, I think we're all similar page, but like I've said before, we have friends and family that are the other side.
I'm sure many people
They-
find it justified.
It's hard to believe that that's still okay. I mean, what excuse are
I
you going to
flipped
use?
over
to
to
say
Fox
that's okay?
News. Yeah, I wanted to see what other people were watching, specifically my parents. So I
Yep.
changed, and it does have a different vibe, and it's not quite as detailed as I'm looking at CNN right now. But yeah, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about what I'm going to say to my parents the next time that I talk to them.
Because I know in Portland, when that went down, it was, the whole thing, they're trying to burn down a federal building. And I mentioned Michigan. It's like, yeah, but that's okay. I'm like, well, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Where's the National Guard now?
It'll be interesting to see whether the Republican senators who are going to challenge the vote will continue to do that, right? Because they had just gotten started. It started at 1 o'clock and there were 6 or 7 of them that were going to go. Yeah, I know because Missouri senator is one of them. But I wonder if any of them will back down or if they'll continue to fuel the fire.
I guess
we'll
at this
see.
point, they won't back down.
I mean, to me, it feels like that those protesters have penetrated the Capitol, that feels like you should maybe back down. Like, I don't know.
What was your question?
We'll see.
Huh.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's just mind-boggling that everything about it, right? The Capitol Police just sort of letting them in. And you're going, what?
Mm-hmm.
No better planning. Like why?
Okay,
Why
so the riot police are moving now.
About time.
Yeah.
What is it? 3 hours later? Because
Because the curfew's coming up at 6
'Cause
p.m.
curfew's
so they're
coming
gonna
up.
force it
They
then.
got 5 minutes.
So they're gonna store that then. So
It's still bright. I noticed that it's still. What time does it get dark in DC this time of year, Laurel?
right around now. So it was just starting to get dark.
Which is 5.
It's now 5:15 there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you guys get more daylight than us. Yeah.
Poor
Poor
Ross.
Ross.
You get
Can we
more.
bring it back to me, please? Okay.
How are the dogs
Not-
doing, Rosaline?
No, I just mean it gets dark around 4:30, 4:15 around now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely dusk, if not starting to get dark down there. Although the Capitol grounds are pretty well lit.
But, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or they can be. So
Well, on a more important note,
yes.
I just want to inform you that Stevie Nicks was 29 in that picture.
Oh, thank you. Thank God. Thank
Ow.
God you checked.
So she wasn't 19 then, right?
I'm glad
No.
somebody checked.
Just looked 19.
I don't know. Maybe the picture was from when she was 19. I don't know.
No, well, there you go. But thanks for checking that out for us. We were really,
Yeah, I was like, well,
I was up last night, like really.
you guys are watching the riots. I'm like, go on to Stevie Nicks, listen to
Watch an
rumors.
old Fleetwood Macs.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was lying
Tusk
awake.
videos.
What age was she?
That album, that Rumors album, when I was a freshman in college, we still had a LP, like a record player, and we would play that album on repeat. Like you'd play side A, side A, side A, side A,
Yeah.
side A,
Uh-huh.
until somebody would finally be like, turn that record over. And we'd turn it over and it'd be side B, side B, side B. We'd just
Awesome.
play over and over again.
It's
That
one
and
of my favorite albums.
Steve Miller, the Steve Miller
Oh.
band,
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
the album with
Yes.
the Joker on it.
Yeah.
Love, no.
I remember that.
That's a classic.
So
too.
you like bands that had Steve or Stevie in
Yeah,
it?
I guess so. Yeah, it was actually my roommate's record collection. I don't think I. Yeah, I don't think I brought records to college, but my roommates did.
I don't remember that.
Okay, well, shall we get going so we can all get back to Twitter?
Well, I'm not going to get back to Twitter, but I'm going to watch the news a little bit now.
It's worth watching today. Clearly, it's one for the history books.
I actually had the funny candy one lined up to do. Should we do that one?
Yeah.
What,
You didn't have one?
lightheartedness?
You didn't have one
Completely.
prepared for like a coup? Come on.
I'm sorry. I'll write one for
Exactly.
tomorrow.
Right?
I didn't want to
Today?
jinx Georgia. I definitely didn't want to jinx Georgia.
If I had remembered that it was Women's Little Christmas, I would have
Yes.
sent you that little
Oh,
prayer. So in Ireland, the 6th of January, which is the Epiphany, and it's Little Christmas, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
For some weird reason, it's also Women's Christmas.
Huh.
Because it's Little
where-
Christmas. Women get the Little Christmas.
Like women get one day because of all the bloody work they've done all over Christmas, cooking and cleaning for everyone. And
They
then
get to clean up now.
this little
wait, I
patch-
thought Boxing Day was
Today
for the
off.
ladies.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so it's supposedly the man of the house is supposed to do like all of the cooking and cleaning on the 6th of January, one feckin' day.
Wait, what about Mother's Day?
Yeah, right.
That doesn't. That's we.
That doesn't count?
Well, yeah, we take that on board too, but
And your
it's not-
birthday?
that's not such a big thing elsewhere. And your birthday, yeah. But anyway,
All right, so you got 3.
to be honest, I think it's been invented. I don't-
362.
All right, they're all marching.
One of my colleagues signed on a meeting this morning and she still had her Christmas tree up. And she said, we keep our Christmas tree up until Little Christmas.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There's
Oh,
no
Yeah,
still
but
up.
when she said Little Christmas, it didn't, nobody said, what the hell is Little Christmas? But then I got your text later. I was like, oh, she means the Irish Little Christmas.
No,
So
well, I
people
think-
usually keep their tree up until Little Christmas.
Epiphany.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's the Epiphany, right? You don't take it down until the three kings turn up. I mean,
That's right. They show up with the presents today.
that's just bad luck, right? Yeah, they just turned up. This is the 12th day of Christmas. This is the
I
last.
Oh, today is
see.
the 12th day, right?
I
Yes.
see.
So you take your tree down and you take everything down. So we've got, but also in the UK, everybody, because we've got all our outside decorations as well. Not as big as you guys do it, but so there's been kind of, because we're in such a shitstorm here.
Everybody's gone over the top.
Everyone said, let's just leave our lights out for January. Just cheer
Yeah.
everybody up. So
Yeah.
I was going to take down the outdoor lights, and I thought, you know what? It's kind of nice. Let's just leave it up for a few more weeks. So
We routinely leave ours up till Easter, so
Your tree as well?
You're
Not
that
the
kind of
tree,
neighbor, huh, Astrid?
we
Like,
don't
take 'em
turn them
down.
on. We don't turn them on.
we leave my grandmother
White outside lights on.
Just
I think they
taking
look really
down
pretty
her-
and it kind of cheers everybody up. It's so dark.
yeah.
Of course.
My grandmother died on the 25th of January, and she had been in poor health like 25 years ago, I hasten to add, but she was taking down the Christmas tree decorations, and she just kind of sat back in her chair and fell asleep and like died in her sleep. So, but at her funeral, the parish priest like said, oh, and Mary was like taking down her Christmas decorations, and she sat back in her chair and she fell asleep and didn't wake up, blah, blah, blah. And my two aunties were like mortified that everybody knew that my grandmother was like
no.
3 weeks late taking down her. They were like, Mommy would have been so embarrassed if she'd known everybody knew she was late taking down her decorations. So
And your grandmother's like, yep, there I am.
Then nobody helped do it for her. No.
That is hilarious.
That's a
You
funny
always
story.
got a good story, Rosaline.
Seems like you should leave your lights up at least until the 25th then.
yeah. I have to in memory.
Yeah.
In memory of
exactly.
Granny.
In memory.
That's it.
Was that your
Memory of
mom's
Granny
mom or
Cunningham.
your dad's mom?
My dad's mom, Granny
Your dad's
Cunningham.
mom. Granny Cunningham.
Yeah. Granny Cunningham.